Skip, I don't even have anything to say. The floor is yours.
Bang the table. How about them Cowboys? Bang the table right now.
Would this team just please leave me alone? Just let me be. Let me rest in peace over here. Here's how my day went yesterday. I told you Monday I woke up dangerously delusional because I saw signs of life on my defense. So you know what I did after our show yesterday? You know how my mind starts working. I start thinking, you know what? This just could be the Sunday. This could be the ultimate trap game, the ultimate trap game for the Pittsburgh Steelers because they're coming off a huge rivalry win at Baltimore. They pulled it off. They are in the catbird seat. This is the first time in forever that they've been, what are they, 7-0 or 8-0? 7-0. And I look at their schedule. They got the woeful Cowboys, then they got the Bengals at home, then they go to Jacksonville, and they're probably thinking, exhale. Let's just take a little breather here as we get ready for a Thanksgiving night rematch with the Baltimore Ravens in Pittsburgh, right? And I'm thinking, you know what? Pittsburgh might be a little overrated because they are really good on defense. Pro Football Focus says they have the best defense. They lead the league in sacks.
They get at the quarterback.
They do they ever. But Pro Football Focus ranks the Steelers' offense 24th. And I'm thinking, you know what? Pro Football Focus also on its weekly All-Pro team put two of my Cowboys on defense on the All-Pro team, DeMarcus Lawrence and Trevon Diggs. After he got smoked a couple times in Philly, he got Carson Wentz back twice. And nearly put us back in position to steal the football game, except for Benjamin Anthony DiNucci. Bad. Nope, he just wasn't up to that task. But Andy Dalton's a whole nother story. Best backup quarterback in pro football. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Andy's played the Steelers a bunch in his career. So I looked it up yesterday. 16 times he has played Mike Tomlin's Pittsburgh Steelers. His record isn't very good. It's 3-13, but he was playing for the Bungles. But you look at his stats, 19 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. Not terrible against Mike Tomlin's defense over 16 games, right? So will Andy Dalton be scared on Sunday? No, he won't be scared. Like, I got a shot. If Andy's back from his concussion protocol and my defense could somehow stymie the Steelers offense, because we actually had 4 takeaways. We had 3 the whole year. We had 4 on Sunday night at Philadelphia.
Which was the fewest at that point in NFL history.
That is correct. So I'm thinking, even though we're still dead last in points allowed and we're still dead last in turnover differential at -11, I saw rays of hope. And I'm thinking, what if they shock this team? Because look, we have 3 games left in the division. We got 2 at home. We got Washington and Philly at home, and we go to the Giants at the end of the year. What if we won all 3? I told you yesterday, 5 could win this division, 5 wins. 6 for sure. You got a real shot with 6.
Absolutely.
So if we could win out in the East and then steal 1 game out of division, we got a shot. What if they shock the Pittsburgh Steelers as up to 14-point underdogs with Andy Dalton back at quarterback? And I'm thinking, here I go.
I got a chance.
And then I see some quotes midday yesterday from an early Mike McCarthy press conference. And, you know, the one thing that he's gloating about, and it's the only thing he can gloat about, he says, we're one team. I don't think they're one of the few teams. No COVID positives through the regular season for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm thinking, that's all you got? No COVID positives for the Cowboys, and he's actually, like, gloating about it. Because then a couple hours pass, and I see the headline, and I said, you're kidding! Andy Dalton is on the COVID list. I don't know if he tested positive, if he had contact problems. I don't know. It's probable, I would guess, that he tested positive.
For him to miss, because, Skip, if you didn't test positive, you can quarantine for 5 days, test negative, and play.
So you have a shot?
So the mere fact that they're saying he's out,
you would guess that's what happened.
He's tested positive.
Andy Dalton, of all players on this roster, you tested positive? Just as I thought, well, if you're back, I got a chance. And now I got no chance. Now they have re-signed Cooper Rush, who used to be the backup quarterback, and they cut him, and he went up with Jason Garrett to the Giants, who cut him before the year started.
Right.
What? And Cooper Rush is back, and he's thrown 3 passes in his Cowboy life and completed 1 for a grand total of 2 yards back in 2017. So he hasn't been in an NFL game for nearly 3 years. So it's now Ben DiNucci or Cooper Rush. Ben DiNucci or Cooper Rush.
You got another guy.
I know. I got Garrett Gilbert.
You don't want him?
He used to be the stud of Texas as a high school player. He was one of the big signees in the history of the University of Texas, and he wound up at SMU. Okay, so that's how great he was at the University of Texas. So I'm going to assume it's now Cooper Rush or bust on Sunday. Cooper Rush out of Central Michigan, who went undrafted. And here we go again. At least DiNucci was a 7th-round pick, like Shannon Sharpe was. So now I'm just crushed again. I cannot even get a break. I can't get a COVID break. I just lost the best backup in pro football. Andy Dalton is on the COVID list, and I'm on the I'm out of here list, right?
Yeah, you on life support list with your Cowboys. Skip, all of your quarterback options are bad. The mere fact, let this sink in, because the Cowboys tendered Cooper Rush for $2.1 million.
They did.
And then all of a sudden, Andy Dalton became available.
Out of nowhere.
They released him.
Yeah, and they ate that money.
That should, Skip, that should tell you something. If you believed in Cooper Rush, why would you sign Andy Dalton? Here's a guy that had
That's a good point.
This guy had been in your system since 2017. Mike McCarthy says, I'm going to leave the terminology in because that's what Dak is familiar with. Well, Cooper Rush was on the roster. He was the backup to Dak. So he knows that terminology. Why would you bring Andy Dalton in to learn new terminology if you believe Cooper Rush was the guy? You know Cooper Rush isn't the guy. Skip, it's like, okay, what is it? A, Ben DiNucci. B, Cooper Rush. C, Garrett Gilbert. E, none of the above.
Yep.
That's what you want, Skip. I'm sorry. You guys, if you take all the best qualities of each of those 3 individuals, Skip, I still don't believe you get a quarterback that can beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, it might be a situation like, as you mentioned, they're looking past a big division win, the Baltimore Ravens on the road, tough. Last play of the game comes down to the last play, and they're looking past the Cowboys. But knowing Mike Tomlin the little bit that I do, I don't think that. He's like, and as he said, he said, look, we're happy with the win, but we got to be honest with ourselves now. We got to be honest. We didn't play particularly well in certain areas, and that's why we're going to have to evaluate this tape. Skip, look, I just don't know what y'all going to do. Now, the Steelers take the ball away. They lead the league in sack, 5th in takeaways, and now they get that offensive line, Bud Dupree, Cam Hayward, and T.J. Watt. That's what y'all going to go up against.
T.J. Watt, 6.5 sacks. Bud Dupree, 6 sacks.
Well, they're going to lead with more than 6 and 6.5 when they lead this ball game. You got your work cut out for you. And now, the thing is about Ben and those receivers, he has all his starting receivers. Now, if Ben does not, obviously, it's a level playing field, you turn the ball over. Because now you give Dallas short fields, kind of like what Wentz did, even though a lot of times you guys weren't able to take advantage of it. Now, you turn the ball over, all bets are off, Skip. But I don't believe the Steelers will look past you because of what transpired last week. I believe they will take you guys serious. I believe they will look to step on you early and end this thing. You guys play well. I like what I saw. See, what I saw from D-Law Sunday is what I expect to see from him every week. I saw the hustle. I saw them throw a smoke route, and he turned, rushed, peeled, and go get it.
He ran it down.
That's the D-Law.
Yep, I agree.
D-Law. That's why you was thought of as a top 5 defensive end in all of football.
That is correct.
That's why Jerry gave you all that money. This is what I expect to see from you every week. To be the best player. You are undeniable. The best player on that defense. You need to show that on a weekly basis. But you got your work cut out for you. And it doesn't matter if you had Andy Dalton, but now that you got Ben, and let that say get skipped. How bad must you be? That they give you one start, they say, nah, and even Jerry went on the radio and said, nah, he was in over his head. Nah, we good. We going to Cooper Rush, who's on the practice squad, and Garrett Gilbert, who's also on the practice squad.
Okay. Well, what did you see from Ben DiNucci?
I saw exactly what I thought I would see.
It was Ben disaster. That's what it was. So this is what I can't process right now. My team that I thought at least could win the NFC East this year.
You still can.
Okay, we still could. But that team against the Steelers, is the biggest home underdog this franchise has suffered since back in 1989. It was October 15th of 1989. I was there. It was the 49ers at what were basically the expansion Cowboys. They did have one really good player at receiver in his second year, and his name was Michael Irvin.
Yes.
And guess what happened that night?
He broke his leg, didn't he?
He tore his ACL.
Yeah, okay.
And he was gone the rest of that year and the first 4 games of the 1990 campaign. That was how bad that game got.
And that 49ers team was loaded.
It was Joe Montana's greatest year, but here's the irony of that game. They were, whatever it was, 13.5-point underdogs. Steve Young started that game in place of Joe Montana, who was injured. He missed 3 games that year, but statistically, it was Montana's greatest year. That team went 14-2 and destroyed, not your, but the Denver Broncos. 55-10 in the Super Bowl. But that's what happened that night. It was 31-14. Steve Young to Jerry Rice was the connection that night. So the backup quarterback, quote unquote, for the 49ers did a 31-14 number on my team. And now I've got a team that has 2 guys on it that we just talked about, made the Pro Football Focus All-Pro Weekly team on defense. I saw Jalen Smith and Wolf Hunter flying around. I saw Aldon Smith make a couple of plays, look like Aldon Smith here and there.
And he was one of the guys that everybody wanted at the trade deadline, Skip.
That is
people
correct.
People were trying to actually get him away. Jerry like, nope, I'm not trading.
Okay, I got it. And on offense, I still have 3 potential 1,000-yard receivers. I have Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard in my backfield. And Zach Martin last week also made the Pro Football Focus All-Pro Weekly team.
Right.
In his comeback game from his concussion, playing right guard. Everybody wants him to move to right tackle, but they say, no, we're going to keep him at right guard. Okay? There's too much firepower left on my team for this to happen. They're 0-8 against the point spread, which is the worst start of any team dating back to the 2003 Raiders, the 91 Cincinnati Bengals. Right. This is 0-8 against the point spread, and it looks like it could get worse from here and set records.
Skip, I would say, it doesn't matter who the quarterback was. If you had your starting offensive line intact, if Tyron Smith was at left tackle, you had Collins at right tackle, you had Zach Martin, and you had your guys, I would say, Skip, you got an excellent chance because they could possibly hold up against that blitz. But because you have replacements that's backing those guys up, and you got your quarterback situation.
Okay, I hear you. I got it. But still, especially if Andy Dalton were back at quarterback, everybody's having injuries or COVIDs or it's 2020.
Yes.
It's a matter of it's a war of attrition, as they say, right?
Yes.
And I still watch the Eagles. They're decimated too, and they keep coming out again. Carson Wentz has been upright the whole year, so you still got that going for you, even though he's leading the league in turnovers.
Right.
But the point is, the Eagles play their tails off for Dougie P every week.
Yes.
And they make it happen with backups. Why can't my team be better than this? Because I still got a lot of good starting players left.
Offense, I mean, you got the 3 wide receivers, you got a running back. Your tight end is decent.
It should be way better than you being a 14-point underdog at home.
The difference is that Philly's defense plays hard all the time. Your defense played hard Sunday.
Yep.
That is the difference. Now, granted, everybody, I mean, you look at Eagles' offensive line, they're beat up. No Lane Johnson. They've lost Barrett Brooks. They lost the left tackle who they thought was going to have. And Jason Peters just got back on Sunday.
And he's in and out of the lineup.
He's in and out of the lineup, Skip. So you're right. I don't believe, maybe if you had Andy Dalton, Skip, you'd probably still be 9-point underdogs. You might not be 13.5 or 14, but you'd still be pretty close to a double-digit underdog.
If we had Andy Dalton, we would have stolen this game. I believe it. I convinced myself yesterday we're going to get this one. I did.
You ought to get this game.
Andy Dalton's not afraid of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Skip, did you not see Andy Dalton in Washington?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
He's afraid of those guys.
Did you see him in Arizona? What about that one? Did you see him in that game?
Well, did you see what he did at the end of the game against the Giants?
Skip.
You know what? That's my only bright spot of the whole year.
It is.
Was what he did.
Yes.
Those 2 throws. They were. Wait, we got to see him real quick. No, just real quick. I know we got to go, but I got to see him. Just real quick. Please. This is all I got left.
This is what you won't be
This is
seeing
it.
anytime
This is
soon.
it.
Look at this. Watch this to Michael Gallup. Watch this. He's on the run and throws a dart. And Michael Gallup gets his feet down. How sweet is that? That's my highlight of the year.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Except for this play. This is my best highlight of the year. How great is this throw by Andy Dalton to Michael Gallup? How great a catch was that? That sets up the game-winning field goal against those dangerous New York Football Giants. That's all I got left.
They're dangerous, huh?
Yes, they're very dangerous.
Well, good. I hope you want to see it again? Because
No.
that's the last you're going to see that.
That's
something
it.
that's the last you're going to see something like that in a
Yep.
while.
Okay.
That's all
Thank
you got? That's your highlights?
That's
for
it.
this
That's all I got.
season? Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.